This video is about a topic I am very passionately supportive of, and I hope you all find it interesting too. So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy the story of how the HTA got so much done so quickly. I first rode Hawes back in 2018 and posted a little video from it, which I'll link in the corner of the screen. After posting that video, I kept hearing back from many of you that I should return to Hawes again. Why? Well, there's been a massive development of new trails at the area. On a recent trip to Phoenix this winter, I was lucky enough to get a chance to try out the new and improved Hawes region, and you know what? I had a great time. The story of the advocacy group and the developments that have happened ever since my first visit is pretty cool, and I think we can all learn something from it, so let's dive on in.
Woo! Yeah! Yeah! Nice, Crystal.
That was my most air so far, so hopefully that...
Most air so far. Get today's award for most air.
We didn't know what in the hell we were doing.
It's kind of mind-boggling because a lot of times you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, and it's like 5-10 years later they actually build trails.
I want to give a big thanks to Jensen USA for sponsoring this video and making it possible. Jensen is a leading online retailer, and not only do they have a great selection of mountain bikes, parts, and accessories, but they're a big supporter of the sport in general. In addition to Jensen USA, I'm also personally supported by Industry 9 and PMW Components. In this video, I'm riding an Orbea Occam LT. This is a bike that Jensen USA has in stock, and I've got a link to in the YouTube description down below. If you want to check out the Orbea Occam, or if you just want to support my videos like this, then please start your online shopping sessions at Jensen via the links in my description down below. Any purchases from those links will directly help support my channel, and that'll help me make more videos like this happen. All right, let's get into the story of the HTA. I say the word advocacy a lot in reference to mountain bike advocacy groups, but a lot of us don't even know what that really means. The advocacy groups are the trail clubs that actually band up groups of riders that we have a voice when it comes to getting more trail access and negotiating with the land managers.
Grant and Michael, okay. And their original HTA founding. Perfect, cool.
In 4 years, you guys have accomplished what a lot of places need 10 years to get done.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
I was lucky enough to meet, ride, and chat with Mike and Grant, two of the original founding members of the Hawes Trail Alliance.
That was cool.
And there was this little thing that was always like a little, it was like a rock outcropping that you'd go over. And I still, every time I go over, I'm like, that's Collarbone Cliff right there for Grant. Sure. So that's really the starting point. It says somebody's got to do something or they're going to shut it all down for everyone. So that was the idea.
The way in which the HTA was able to make this all happen is pretty cool, and I hope other folks are able to apply this template to their own areas.
Nice, Crystal.
That's right. If we can learn from their success, it'll only further help the cause of mountain biking all over the world.
Sure.
I'm Sean Stenmark.
Oh, cool. Nice to meet you, Sean. The end of the day yesterday, it finally comes out, oh, so there's a Facebook group with 3,000 people called Hawesaholics.
As the HTA got up and going, Sean was able to leverage the resources of his enormous Facebook group to further help the HTA's cause. This is a great example of teamwork making the dream work.
The volunteers have been fantastic. We would not have been able to do any of this without the support system and those people that have volunteered.
First we were doing this thing called Beer Enduro, which was enduro racing, where there was one test section where you had to pound a beer.
Okay.
Hopefully the fastest rider wouldn't win.
Nice.
Started this little community. Pretty much you ride for maybe an hour and then hang out, drink beers for like 2-3.
But if we didn't have that support, the three of us that kind of started this, we would have given up on it.
Trail building is different than advocacy, however, both are critical.
Advocacy is by nature political. It's not that fun for most people. It's a lot of paperwork. And folks love to celebrate trail builders. That's a big part of the process. And it's
Totally.
almost a little bit more glamorous to be there with dynamite and a tractor and a shovel. But I saw that you guys hired a professional trail builder. So what's the landscape like with hiring professional trail builders versus having the club do the actual work?
Okay, that's probably been one of the big advancements that we've had in getting the number of trails or the miles of trails done that we've did, is hiring that machine builder to do that. Now, there's been a little bit of controversy, not much.
There's always
some
controversy.
Some people think that,
so.
oh, you know, we have to have, it's better to do it hand built. These machine builds, they ruin it. The trail isn't as good. It's a little bit more, I don't know, whatever. But what we've found is that there are definitely trails that are better in being machine built rather than hand built.
Sure.
Like you rode Sunset Ridge last night.
Yeah, that was
that's
fun.
Yeah, that's a
predominantly
terrain that
hand-built,
we're
right?
not going to get a machine up there to build that.
That's the wrong type of trail for a machine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there are some trails that maybe you went on High Ridge and Alpe d'Huez, that those things are perfect for a machine build.
Yeah.
And we had the funds. We had the recommendation from one of our users, actually spends time in Colorado.
Okay.
And so he had a relationship with this trail builder. He works for the National Forest over in Colorado and had that government contract already. So he's kind of a pre-approved contractor, if you will. So it made it easy to hire him and bring him on with Condo's approval. Sean Gregory, I'm going to throw his name out in it. And he's done an awesome job. That's why we have the relationship with Big Loop, Sean Gregory.
Yeah, Grant.
It's not like he's just a contractor. He comes out here and it's kind of like Grant said, he's an artist, but he has a feel for it. It's like he fits, and it's like, he cares. Oh. That will continue. We'll continue to put money in selective things until we get to a size where say, hey, we can now do this maybe full time.
As we've seen in the other episodes of this series, many times a trail group has to basically prove itself to the local Forest Service district. In this case, the HTA had to do all they could to maintain the existing trails, which actually becomes a huge asset to the Forest Service.
That was one of the huge parts that Tonto National Forest asked us when we were trying to propose trails was, hey, can you maintain what you currently have, the 34 miles? And we're like, sure. So we went out and started planning work days once a week, got some of the unsustainable sections fixed, and that really gave us some good brownie points with the forest people, and they trusted us to expand the system based off all that hard work. It's about the first year we just did Here's the trail. This is the trail work from today, right there.
I see. Good job, Mark.
It looks like a sharp 90.
Right.
So everybody's slamming on their brakes, but it's really a soft 90, and we made it like a real gradual berm turn.
I don't know about all of you, but when I think of mountain biking in Phoenix, I think of the famous South Mountain riding area, which is super fun, but it's also very rocky, and the trails aren't that fast per se. Because they're so rough and technical, you're lucky to get over 20 miles an hour. Hawes provides quite a different experience than South Mountain. The trails are quite a bit faster and flowier, and you actually can get some traditional jumps here and there. I really love South Mountain style riding, but you know what? It's really nice to have some variety, some more options to pick from with these desert trips. As Seneca once said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. In this case, with the HTA, they lucked into an already pre-approved entire trail listing that simply needs someone to come in, turn the key, and make the whole thing happen.
And what the Forest Service had been doing is they had actually been hanging on to these approved trails, not built yet, but they were approved, and waiting for the money, which they didn't have, or group or time to come in and do this. And so it was almost a perfect storm where they said, okay, where have you been? HTA, now we'll let you go and build these trails.
Right here, the pieces all come together.
Did you even know this opportunity was there? That
No,
was pre-approved?
we didn't.
Okay.
We didn't. And then he brought it to us and said, hey, I've got these trails that were approved clear back in 2007. Let's go build some of them.
And the Forest Service actually asked before HTA, one of the guys like, hey, you know, because we were doing a little bit of trail like volunteering here and there, because I'd been involved with that in other areas. And they're like, hey, you guys want to like do this, get organized? I was like, no, dude, I just want to have fun with this, and I'm busy enough with this.
Okay.
And then HTA showed up, and at first I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, we need to keep our eyes on this, but I didn't really want to get that involved with it.
Sure.
At first I was like, I had enough going over here, but typically when I just kind of get involved. And so now
I can't help it if the party follows me.
I'm
I should have looked at this. Well, that's a little dicey.
If you've been a viewer of my channel for some time, you'll know that I don't spend much time riding the beginner and green level trails. Instead, I tend to focus on more of the expert to advanced level trails. And the HTA, while it has definitely put a lot of work into improving beginner and intermediate level trails, has also worked with a few other groups to create Sunset Ridge, which is a double black diamond expert line down a ridge. It's a pretty cool trail.
It does need to be for all. It
My
can't.
favorite
You
jump
can't
on
have
the
one
mountain.
group come in and say, "Hey, we're going to make this just all gnarly."
right?
Yeah.
Because then someone comes out here and it's not the experience that they want.
Well, then you've also severed the relationship with the Forest Service because they're not going to trust
Whoa,
you to
that's a
work on
close one.
everything if you're only focused on one.
Correct. And really, while it's heavy emphasis on biking, there are a ton of runners out here and hikers, and there are groups that come out. And so we're accommodating them. And Grant and I come from a running background, so that's near and dear to our hearts. We want to make sure that that's there. But it is tricky, and that's where there's some clashes, because there's some groups that feel very strongly. But that's where communication being key, open, having this dialogue. What do we want? How does it prioritize? And just the general, good vibes that are out here. That's what's worth it.
Yes.
Right. And it's something that's permanent. It doesn't go away. This is going to be here for my kids, my grandkids to come and enjoy. And it's what feeds us and fuels us, and all the people that put so much time and effort into it.
We were doing just donate, and they were like, people would donate 100 here, 10 bucks here, 1,000 here. We just got at Christmas, on Christmas Day, we were given $1,000 by like somebody we don't even know who.
Sweet.
Yes,
Anonymous donor.
That was just stoked on Hawes, and they're like, Merry Christmas.
That's really cool.
Really cool. So we're gonna need public comment to be supportive when we do run that by Tonto National Forest, which we're hoping to do by, say, June.
Okay.
So we'll have a call out to everyone to help us get Tonto motivated to approve another set of trails for us.
All of you that are watching this want to help with the HTA. What can they do?
They can go to hawstrailalliance.com and you can sign up to be a member there, or you can sign up to volunteer.
And becoming a member will then give you a notification of when it's time to go sign the petition to get more trails approved.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
So that's what we need for HTA.
Yes, that'd be amazing.
Nice to meet you, Sean.
Me too, man. Come on back.
Well, thank you for meeting with us and showing us the trails. This has been a total pleasure.
Jeff, it's been awesome to have you and Logan. Seriously, it's a privilege for us.
Well, thank you so much for showing us the trails and for meeting with us.
Nice to meet you, Crystal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Logan. Yeah, you too.
Oh, it's awesome. High five for that.
As Crystal said, please check out the HTA's website in order to help further their efforts. Beyond that, big thanks to Jensen USA for making this kind of content possible. If you're a mountain biker, I know you're going to need new tires, grips, saddles, or even a whole new bike. Please help me out by doing your online shopping from the link in the YouTube description just below. Also, special shout out to Jason,
Jason.
fellow on the red Ibis Ripmo AF. He reached out to me like 2 years ago with an Instagram message that the HTA was onto some really good things and that things were changing quickly in Hawes. Jason, thank you. You were right, and I was stoked to meet with everyone down there. With all that, I'll see you guys back in Phoenix this winter. Peace, everyone.